Cowboy Slots is one of the best slot channels out there on YouTube. I love it. I'm pretty sure you love it too. If you're planning to go to Tunica, Mississippi to play slot machines, which Tunica Casino would be the best casino to play step one of Cowboy Slots' method for winning a jackpot? Okay, first off, what is step one of Cowboy Slots' method? This is from his video from May 2022 titled How to Win a Slot Jackpot Playing Low Budget Tips from a Slot Tech. I'm going to link it in the description if you haven't seen it yet. You need to watch it. Now, in his original video, he said you need to find a 25-cent machine that has no larger than a max bet of $1.25. Now, if you notice, he actually omitted language about 5 lines to get to that $1.25 threshold. But I have to tell you, there's not really any quarter machines out there that are 3-reel machines that we get up to $1.25. That are single line quarter machines. So we're going to assume for this that that's what he was talking about, is basically a 5-line machine. Now, there is another video later on where he talks about if that $1.25 is a little too high for your budget for an average spin amount, that you can lower this down to a lower amount. And so for that, we're thinking, well, then you wouldn't play the 5 lines. You'd be looking for probably a single line quarter machine that you'd be betting anywhere from 1 quarter to maybe like 3 credits, which would be about a 75-cent max bet. There's a lot of them out there that are just 50 cents as well. So we're going to throw those into the mix as well as possible options for playing step one of Cowboy Slots. Let's take a quick look at what casinos are even in the Tunica area of Mississippi. You can find on their travel tourism website, you can find Hollywood Casino, Samstown Casino, you got Horseshoe, you got Gold Strike, you got the Fitz Casino, and you got a place called First Jackpot. All right, first up is Samstown Casino. And I hate to tell you, but there's absolutely zero of the 5-line 25-cent machines there. Now, they do have a row of 9-line quarter machines, but I can't really recommend that based on Cowboy Slots saying that your max bet should not go over $1.25. However, there is some good news. They have tons of old school 1-line 25-cent machines. Some of them are going to be 50 cents max bet. Some of them will be 75 cents max bet. And out of all the classic options they have there, Wild Cherry is probably my favorite of these. All right, next up we have Gold Strike. It used to be owned by MGM, but sometime in the last year or so, it sold to a tribal group. This place also has several of the old school 1-line quarter machines, but only about 3 or 4 of them. And I do know there's at least 1, possibly 2, of the double diamond 5-line quarter machines here. They also have a bank of 4 of the triple Red Hot 7's Wheel of Fortune games, but the max bet on these are 10 credits to hit all the bonus features. So that goes over the threshold of what Cowboy Slots says. But also what ends up happening with these is if you play less than the 250 max bet, you end up having a lot of wasted spins because you have that free spin icon that comes up and ends up not paying off. The majority of the quarter machines at Gold Strike are the 9 lines. And like we said before, that ends up putting you at a bet that's too high for the $1.25 max bet that Cowboy Slots recommends. So Gold Strike is pretty limited on their options for playing step one of Cowboy Slots. Next up, right next door, is the Horseshoe. This place is owned by Caesars. And I hate to tell you, but there's not a single 5-line quarter machine in this entire place. Now, there is a 50-cent 5-line machine that I've actually done pretty well on before, but that doesn't meet Cowboy Slots guidelines. There also happens to be probably 12 of the 9-line quarter machines. But like we said before, that puts your max bet over the $1.25 threshold. However, what they do have here is probably around 30 machines that are the classic 1-line quarter machines. Some of them will be 2 credit max and some of them are 3 credit max. They've got double diamond, triple stars, and wild cherry. All right, next up is Hollywood Casino. This place has about 20 of those single line quarter machines. So just like a lot of the other places we've been looking at so far. But where this place breaks off from the others is that it has 6 of the 5-line quarter machines, including 2 of them being total meltdown machines. So this is a reasonable option for attempting step 1 of Cowboy Slots method if you're going to choose a casino in Tunica. But an even better option would be just down the road at the Fitz Casino. This place also has 2 of the total meltdown 5-line 25-cent machines, but this place also has 2 of the triple Red Hot 7's 25-cent 5-line old school machines. This is exactly the type of machine that Cowboy Slots is talking about when he's talking about step one, his method of trying to win a jackpot on a low budget. This place also has at least one of the double diamond 5-line 25-cent machines. And on top of that, there's a number of the 1-line 25-cent machines. One of my favorites here happens to be triple double wild cherry, 1-line 25-cent, 2 credit max. All in all, this casino should be a best bet for Cowboy Slots step one. But from personal experience, I haven't had much luck here. So I promise I will do an upcoming video where I test step one of Cowboy Slots thoroughly at this casino. All right, on to our best choice of all. First Jackpot Casino. This is the winner if we're simply talking number of 5-line quarter machines. We have a 5-line double diamond. We got a 5-line Patriot quarter machine. We've got a 5-line super times pay with free games. We got 5-line triple gold, and we've got double 3 times 4 times 5 times pay. And we also have the 5-line triple red hot 7s with free games. This happens to be one of Jackpot Judo's favorites when it's on the dollar denom, and this machine actually also has the dollar denom as an option. First Jackpot also has at least 10 of the single line quarter machines, classics like triple stars and double diamond deluxe. Speaking of triple red hot 7's 5-line quarter machine, I'm not sure which one I like better, the classic one or the one with free game Spitfire multipliers. See, the regular version has such consistent line hits, giving you your full bet back frequently. And the free games version wastes a ton of spins with just one free game symbol hitting and causing a dead spin. And I've had a number of times where the free games bonus spins were wasted because of that same solo free game symbol getting in the way. I'm sure you're like me and don't like watching a 7-time spin in the bonus round wasted on an incomplete free game symbol. So the question is, do we go with the consistent line hits and hope we reach a larger line hit? Or do we deal with those dead spins while we're chasing the bonus round with the free game, Spitfire multipliers, hoping that that bonus will end up hitting large enough to really pay off for all of our efforts in the end? Let me know in the comments which one of these two you've had better luck on. Well, there you have it, the Tunica casinos with the best machines to attempt Cowboy Slots Step 1. But I don't know if I can just leave it at that. Cowboy Slots Step 1 says to put $100 into the machine and play that machine until you double your money, till you get to $200. And I think that's the biggest challenge with this method. I'd love to know how many of you have done Step 1 successfully and how many times you've done it successfully. I have to say that going from $100 to $200 on one of these machines rarely happens for me. Now, I have been successful on a 5-line quarter machine like this with making $20 from $20. I've been successful in making $100 from $20. I've even made $700 off of about $20, $30 on one of these machines. Now, it wasn't at Tunica, but I have done it before. So it is possible. Now, granted, I haven't actually played a full $100 in one of these machines and committed to the process and forced an outcome. But what I have found from my experience is that it's more reasonable to expect about a $20 to maybe $40 profit out of one of these 5-line machines. That, I believe, is very doable. Usually, if I continue playing after that, I end up giving back the profit that I made. With that in mind, and now that we know which Tunica casinos have the right machines to play, let's come up with a way where we can maybe ease into this $100 turning into $200 method for people who don't really want to just lose $100 on one machine. But let's clarify. If you go into a casino with money, you got to be willing to lose that money. You should never play slot machines with money that you need to pay bills with. That being said, I don't really like to lose my money at one machine. I would rather move around to multiple machines to at least give it a good go. Kind of compare it to like going fishing. I wouldn't just want to sit in the same spot and not catching anything all day. If I moved around and tried different spots and still came up empty-handed, at least I know that I gave it a good go. So we're going to look at starting with these single line 25-cent machines. And normally we want to max bet on these. But for the first, 3 to 4 spins, if you just play 1 credit, it kind of helps you get a feel for if you're going to get kickbacks on this or not. I would suggest sticking to my jackpot roadmap guidelines with these types of machines, looking to hit at least 1 line hit by the 6 spins, and ideally looking for at least 2 full bet kickbacks by the 10th spin in order to stay on that machine. If you don't get that by the 6th spin or you don't get the 2 by the 10, then you're going to want to move on to another machine. Ideally for this step, we would hopefully within the first 10 spins hit that $10 or $20 line hit right away, and then we could just cash out and move on to the next machine, because the chances of actually getting another hit better than that before we start to lose that profit is pretty slim when you're playing these one line quarter machines. However, if we do get the 2 full bet kickbacks by the 10th spin, we stay on that machine, we play for a little while, and we really want to try to get to the point where we've made about $25 on that machine before we move on to the next machine. There's absolutely no way to be profitable on every quarter machine that you play like this. So the strategy would be to go ahead and walk away from several of them that have given you 6 dead spins. That's a loss. But then you move on to other machines that are going to give you those profits. And then we average all that together and we start to make steps forward on this step 1 journey with Cowboy Slots. So it might look something like this. Looking at the one line quarter machines, we would take $20 and put that into 5 different machines. A couple of them, we're going to run into those dead spins by the 6th spin, so we just count the loss and we leave. But then on another machine, if we end up making a $12 profit, another one we make a $19 profit, and then on another one, we just maybe make a $4 profit. Then what started with $100, combine it all together, we're now up to $127. Then we could take our money and move over to the 5 line quarter machines. We could break that up into 3 sets of $40. We'll consider that one of those machines is probably going to lose for us, that we're not going to hit all the spins we need by the 10th spin. So we might walk away from that one with just $30. Then hopefully we would, from the other machines, we'd be able to get that small profit in the first 10 spins, maybe 20 spins, and be looking at making about $15 or $25 off each of those machines. So then we're looking at this phase of the step. We started with 127, and maybe we could get to 157 by this time. Now, I would look at going back to the one line machines now that we've made a little bit of profit, and pick the one you did the worst on and the one you did the best on, and then maybe pick a new one. And so we look at taking about 60 of the dollars, breaking up into 20s, looking again at maybe losing at one of them, making a small $4 profit on one, maybe 12 on another. Now we've made another step forward, trying to get to that $200 mark. Now let's go back to the 5 line machines. Let's break the money that we have now. Now that we have over $150, let's break that up into 50, 50, 50. And we'll look at a small loss on one, a small win on one, and then maybe a decent $40 win on another one. And this would be enough to get us over the $200 mark that is the goal for the first step of Cowboy Slots. And once you hit that $200 mark, then you're ready to move on to step 2 of Cowboy Slots, how to win a jackpot, low budget playing. And here's the good news about step 2 of Cowboy Slots and Tunica Casinos. Every Tunica Casino has the type of machine he says you need for step 2 of his method. You're looking at a one line, $1, 3-reel machine. You're never guaranteed to win whenever you play a slot machine, but hopefully by breaking all this down into these smaller steps, maybe it might give us a good shot to reach those goals of taking that $100 to $200. Thanks so much for watching my video. I'm actually going to try to go back to a couple of these casinos and make some future videos of actually playing step 1 and seeing how many different machines does it take, how successful can we be, will we not be successful, how many rounds can we play this before we can make it happen, and maybe try to give you guys a sense of how likely is this step to work in just one visit to the casino, or does it take maybe several visits to be successful at this type of first step method. So watch for those future videos. Definitely hit the subscribe button. I want to be able to give you guys videos that give you ideas and tips on how to make your bankroll stretch further in slots. You know, like I always say, I hate putting $100 into a machine and watching it go down to 0. That's part of what the whole jackpot roadmap guidelines are for, is to keep me from walking out of the casino with empty pockets. So thanks for tuning in for this one. Good luck to everyone out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.